I'm about to blow. I gotta stay on my hustle, you know that I'm grinding for sure. I came up right from the bottom, now they see me chasing my goals. Now they see me on the go, yeah. Now they see me on the road. It's time to hustle, yeah, it's time to grow. I'ma shoot for the stars and we aim for the gold. It's time to hustle, yeah, it's time to grow.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. We got Xavier Pratt on. Sup, G?
Sup, bro?
Lockdown potties.
You're scraping the barrel now.
Bro, make the most of what we got. But obviously we were going to do this a bit later.
Yeah.
But we just decided may as well bring it forward with the circumstances at the moment.
Yep.
Bro, you just want to give people a bit of a insight on yourself, I guess? Who you are, what you do?
Yeah, okay. Obviously, my name's Xavier Pratt. I run a business called Football Factory. Basically, just football, teaching kids like one-on-one, small groups as well, and then just like coaching. And I play football for National League, Hamilton Wanderers.
The Wanderers. I'll just make a quick shout out to our sponsor of this podcast. It's Keep the Change. New sponsor, but it's a guy, Luke Kemmies. He's doing awesome things, and it's actually something that we sort of don't talk about much in New Zealand, and we're almost taught not to talk about it, and it's our money. So he's really helping with financial literacy. He's teaching people how to look after their money and things that you don't know about your money. Little things like the secondary tax that we get told. Everyone thinks you get a second job, you get secondary tax. You actually don't. It's a little bit of a myth, but things like that. If you want to get emails, he sends out a regular email every week. Just click on the link in the description, and it'll take you straight to where you can sign up. You get the emails every week, so you can start learning how to be better with your money. We're also doing a giveaway at the moment, so if you want to jump on that, by this time you ought to see it. It'll be 2 days from when we're drawing it. So on 138 page, go check it out. We're giving away 3 months supply of Red Bulls. Shout out to Red Bull. Bro, let's go sort of back to the start. Like, obviously we've done a podcast before, and
yeah,
due to a few reasons we took it down. But
yeah.
This time we've decided to come back, do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I suppose last time was a bit of had its ups and downs.
But it was fucking crack up, bro.
Mainly downs.
So this time we decided have a couple less drinks and
yeah.
and relax.
Yeah, for sure. I think last time I was probably a little bit nervous to like come into the podcast kind of scene. I suppose I've never done anything like this before, but yeah, and that's why I probably had a few too many wines and just to try and loosen up, and then ended up not being able to speak by the end of it. But
it was good though. Like, it was a good chat. It's just yeah, obviously we live in quite a PC world now, bro.
Yeah,
so there's certain shit. I mean, Joe Rogan can get away with smoking dope on his thing every single day. But anyway, bro, like every good story has a good start. So let's go back to the start, and let's build it up from the very beginning. So let's talk about your schooling, where you went to school.
Yeah. Okay. So basically started out at Otamote College in Tauranga. And then one of my mates, Ruben Parker, kind of like hit me up and was just like, "Yo, like the school's looking for a scholarship, or looking for a player, could give you a scholarship." And I was like, fuck, like pretty open to the idea of obviously like getting a scholarship for playing football. It's like a little bit of a dream, or like, you know, especially at that age, pretty young. And then ended up moving to St. Peter's, where like kind of football kind of blossomed a little bit, gave me a bit more opportunity just in regards to that, which was a really good start. And then from there kind of went like secondary schools, which is just like a tournament overseas. Moved to like...
Is that New Zealand schools? Oh, wait, what?
No, so like secondary, like football secondary school, so it's like the under-20 New Zealand squad.
Oh, yeah.
But like for like the schooling realm, so like it's not the under-20s, it's just like one less than that, and then you go and play like tournament over in England, and just like it's like the same with them. So that under-20s, yeah. So which was like, that was really good, like really eye-opening, and like shows you the level that you need to be at to kind of make it, or not make it, but
yeah.
You know.
Who'd you play over there?
England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales.
Shit.
Yeah, and Northern Ireland, I think, as well.
So was it their school teams, like Same,
it's
same thing.
so like the under-20s, but like they're playing schools over there.
Yeah.
So like over there, it's like if you're under 20 and playing in a school league, then over there it's like obviously the football's massive. So the football ends up being like if you're under 20 and playing school league, you're probably like not really playing with like the higher leagues. But so like the teams are a little bit lesser than what you'd expect, but it was actually a really good like eye-opening experience, and a few of the boys got contracts over there and stuff, so it was really good. Yeah.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, it was class. And then from there went to like uni, and then went to like this academy at uni, and we played a game down in Wellington for them, and ended up like a scout saw me playing down there, and ended up like asking me to join the Wellington Phoenix. So and that's kind of where like football for me kind of not took off. I wouldn't say take off, but kind of just.
Yeah, you elevated yourself at that point, eh? That's that's your first sort of taste of, I guess, almost pro football.
Yeah. So we're training with the first team and like playing games for the second team, and obviously you're probably not to the standard when you first arrive there, but you have to quickly adapt and quickly grow, and that was class just being around like those boys and around that kind of that environment. Like very quickly you learn like what to do and what not to do, and who are the big dogs, and the hierarchy of kind of the football, and what to say, what not to say, and all that. But I kind of just like head down, try to do my thing, a little bit, which was alright, but just ended up not really like probably pushing myself as much as I could have. Like kind of got to that stage and thought I'd kind of made it, instead of getting to that stage and then working harder. So that's probably like a little regret in my life, that I kind of thought like once I got there, should have knuckled down and kind of done the extras and done more. Like I was doing enough, but I wasn't doing.
But how old were you at the time?
19.
Yeah, that's something that like if I can obviously relate that to rugby, but you can almost relate it to most sports.
Yeah.
Nowadays that they're getting so young. But kids are getting thrown in at like 18, 19 and expecting to make like adult decisions. And like I'm the same. I was the same.
Yeah.
Thrown in at like 18, and it was just like, some kids handle it, some kids don't, and it's not anything to do with your like your personality, or it's not anything to do with who you are as a person. Like it's not to say that you're a shit person if you can't handle it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you couldn't handle, but to be honest, I couldn't, and I handled it a different way. I was probably more immature than I should have been.
Yeah. In what way? Like, what do you mean by that? So?
Like, sort of similar. Like, I didn't really push myself as much as I should have.
Yeah.
I went to Wellington when I was 18, very similar to you, bro. So, on a deal, and I almost was like shown the pathway, and I kind of just like it's almost switched off, and it was just like I kept thinking about all the things that I wasn't doing as opposed to the things that I could be doing. I was like, oh. All my mates are partying, all my mates are doing O-Week and like same. That sort of shit.
100%, yeah.
And it's just like you don't sometimes you don't realize at the time, and then a few years later you're like, shit, like
that's always the way you look back on it, and you're almost like, like everyone says it, like those are your like key years and all that, and you go whatever. But
is football the same as rugby in the sense that it's not unforgiving, but it's like you almost give yourself a name within those years that it's just like once it's through that, it's almost like not unrecoverable. It's never unrecoverable, but like people sort of have a idea of like, oh, all right, well, he's gone now. Next one's, you know?
I think a lot for football that I don't know what it's like with rugby, but for football for sure, like you can always like bring it back and create a name for yourself later down the track. But definitely at that age, like I was 19, I think, and I was doing pretty well. Like I was like top goal scorer, like second top goal scorer in my team, and like and in the league, and like still got dropped. And I was like fuck, it's like harsh reality of just like obviously I wasn't doing enough or the right things to then get dropped at that age, and then kind of look back at it now and be like, fuck, like was I doing enough? Was I out drinking too much, or was I, like did I waste that opportunity that I was given because I couldn't make the sacrifices then that I would make now,
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's actually a big one there. It's like I think you feel after a few years you like grow up a little bit and you mature a little bit. That's when you understand. I think that's when you understand maturity. Like you feel it. Yeah. You're just like, oh shit. Like,
yeah.
Was I sweet? Like I think back on some things and I'm like, fuck, was I alright? Like, what was I up to? Like, why did I do that sort of shit?
Like for sure, like I think I was surface level mature, like obviously, but there's like a deeper like kind of maturity where you can kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, you know, where those decisions are made, and they just like lead you down the wrong path, kind of, you know. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but
no, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But so did you ever have a like go with the first team?
So I never like got an A-League cap, so to speak, but we went over to like Fiji and we played like the Fijian international team, and I got a run there with like the first team and stuff, and like training like maybe 3 times a week with them as well. So like always in and around that realm and that level, but I never got a taste of the A-League.
Yeah. What did your sort of week look like when you were down there? Like,
pretty hectic, eh? So like wake up in the morning training with the reserves, and then you'd have a gym session with either reserves or first team, and then afternoon you could either get the call up to like train with the first team or you'd train with the reserves again.
Yeah.
And then that was it. So you'd have 3 training sessions a day. Just like
so the reserve team's like full time as well?
Reserve team, well, at that time, the reserve team was full time, yeah.
Wow. So do they work, or is that just...
No.
Wow, shit.
Yeah.
So okay.
Some of them obviously like study because we were quite young back then.
Yeah.
But I was just living down in Wellington and just training 3 times a day, and that was it pretty much.
Lyle Bay,
living the life. Yeah, exactly. Wellington was class for that, bro. But again, probably too many distractions.
Yeah. So all right. So that's like one day. You kind of get through.
Yep.
So that's 3 times a week? You sort of run it like that?
Like one day like that, you mean?
Yeah. Is it one day like that and then 3 times, or?
Nah, probably like every day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you'd probably like gym. You'd probably throw gym 3 times in there a week.
Yeah.
With maybe like a recovery session in there as well. But they had like, so like instead of the gym, you'd maybe throw in like a massage session where that, like, so you've got training in the morning and then you can go and get a massage if you want, and then like training in the afternoon or something like that, just to break it up.
Yeah.
Like a pool session, or, you know, whatever. Like, yeah, a very professional environment, but like, yeah, it was a lot. Definitely a lot. You can see how it's a full-time job for most boys, you know. Like
Yeah.
3 times a day, you're tired at the end of it.
Are they earning all right money now? Like if you're A-League?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Like obviously it's nothing compared to the fucking
overseas
Europe and stuff.
Nah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, I think like, I'm not too sure what the minimum wage is, but I think it's like $1,000 for like the like sign on. That's just like $1,000 a week.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, that's
Shit.
just the main, like, yeah. And then after, like, obviously after a year or whatever your contract is, however big you've made a name for yourself or how good you are, then obviously
Yeah.
you earn more.
Fuck, that's not bad. $1,000 a week.
Similar to rugby, or probably bit more money in rugby.
No, not a whole lot. Oh, shit. I don't. Super Rugby which is probably what you would compare that to. Wellington Phoenix is like Super Rugby, which is like Crusaders, Chiefs, Hurricanes, that sort of thing. If you're an injury replacement player, which is like you're not in the squad, but you're in covering someone, or they've brought you in and you're not technically named in the squad, then it's like, well, when I was there, it was like, it's $1,800 a week.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
But then you find that if someone's sitting on an injury replacement contract for the whole year, some of them actually earn more than the like draft players. So it's confusing but there's like full contract players and then there's like wider contract players. The full contract minimum is, I think it's 80 a year.
Which would work out to be more than.
But you get, see, it's so confusing. But you get like you're in like a NPC team as well. Always, everyone is pretty much, and so your Super Rugby contract, which was, let's say you were minimum full contract, which was 80.
Yeah.
And then you get your NPC contract, and they put it all together and they pay you it as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all New Zealand rugby.
Yeah.
So you don't get paid this separate to this. You just get paid the same thing all year. Once. That was the other thing. How often did you get paid? Do you remember? Was it once a month?
I think it might have been once a month, yeah.
Because that was something that I had to adjust to, bro.
getting paid once a month.
Bro, like I was an 18-year-old and I was getting this much money getting thrown into my account like monthly, and you're just like trying to work out.
Throwing it all at Red Square and mishmash.
Mishmash. Siglo, bro. Siglo was the go-to.
Thanks, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, bro, like just trying to learn quickly how to deal with money.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, like, looking back, I think I wasn't earning that much, so I wasn't earning like 1,800, like, or whatever, you know, I was earning like just enough to live off, so I was kind of like, not scraping by, but had to be smart with it just because I didn't have the money, you know?
Yeah.
But for sure, I can see if I was that age and earning a bit more than that, like, there's no savings involved, is there?
Oh, but well, like, imagine if you're just working your normal job at the moment, whatever it is. You work at a supermarket, right? You work at a supermarket, you work for the whole month, and at the last day of every month, you get your pay for the whole month.
Yeah.
How many people would struggle with that, like, straight away? Especially if they're young,
especially if you're young.
Because it's not like you're getting thrown it in little bits. You're like, here you go, that's for this week. Here you go, that's for this week. It's like, here you go, there's a month. See you in 30 days.
You almost forced the budget.
Oh, bro, yeah. We're trying to learn to anyway, like very quickly. But
that's where you need to sign up for. Keep the change.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's where you learn how to use your money. Keep the change. Click the link in the description. So you were in Wellington.
Yep.
And then was it Aussie after that?
Yeah. So had like a couple of meetings with the Wellington like coaches and stuff, and they're like, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that, and then obviously maybe give you like a 3-month kind of warning, like you're not meeting standards. This is what you need to change, and like if you don't change it, then you know like probably not going to extend your contract.
Do you have an example of that? Like roughly what they would say, like isn't your gameplay or just anything?
Yeah, like gameplay. Like this is like the first team has a gameplay, and then they pass that gameplay down to like the reserve team, and then you have to follow like basically what the first team are doing. So if you're not doing the same shape and the same kind of job or role as what the other player in the first team's doing, then you're not, obviously you're not going to be able to do it in the first team if you're not doing it for the reserve. So
yeah.
And like I was always like a player that kind of worked hard and maybe like ran the most, ran the hardest, tried the hardest, but a lot of the times if you do that, you're running in the wrong areas, you don't need to run that much.
Yeah, right.
So I think that was something that like I struggled with. I was like, but I'm working hard and I'm trying like obviously really hard, but I'm just like, I'm doing it in the wrong areas, maybe like work smarter, not harder, which is something that I struggled with maybe doing. So I had that kind of 3 months, and I suppose at the end of it, they were just like, didn't see enough improvement or whatever, and just so they dropped me, but they actually helped me out on my way. So they said, look, here's a couple of contacts over in Aussie that you might be able to get set up with. It turned out being not that I got one through them, but I just through another source got one, and then ended up heading over to Aussie, which was a whole nother experience in itself.
Just want to pull your mic a little bit closer to you. So whereabouts did you end up in Oz?
So I ended up in
Yeah, that's good.
So I ended up in Brisbane.
Yeah, that's the one. Or closer, you know what I mean?
Cut these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up in Brisbane. Just a little town called Toowoomba, just outside of Brisbane, playing in the NPL. And they basically just got like me and a few other like boys and a couple of like visa players. I was considered a visa player then, and it was eye opening, bro. It was like obviously living away from home. Like had a partner at the time, living away from her. Like just like pretty much on your own. Have to start your whole life again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like obviously helped me mature a little bit, and I think from going to that 19-year-old that was not really working hard enough to then going over there and being away from everyone and having to put my head down and knuckle down.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I had over there, so kind of forced me to mature like a little bit quicker as well, which was probably quite good for me.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it over there, but yeah, I suppose you know a bit about that. How was your time over in Aussie?
Yeah. Oh well, obviously it's a bit of a special circumstance, our one.
Yeah, I suppose a little bit different, but
yeah, it was a little bit different. It was good. Oh fuck, I love Sydney.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I reckon the place is so cool. miss it actually. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a cool place to be. I think the main thing for us was like not having like our family and friends around, which is what you sort of just said.
Yeah.
If all our family and friends are around there,
Yeah.
fuck, such a good place.
I think
Hey,
it makes
like,
it so much easier to just live there like that.
was Toowoomba like inland, eh?
Yeah, inland a little bit, yeah.
So did you have to travel to like Brisbane or something to go to the beach, or like you had to travel?
Yeah, so I think Brisbane's like 30, 40 minutes away, which is not
fuck.
too bad. Yeah,
That's
and
not that
then,
far.
and then it's like another hour to like Gold Coast,
Yeah.
like Sunshine Coast and all that.
Do
like,
you make heaps of trips in there? Surely.
yeah, all the time, yeah. So like, not most weekends, but you know, every second, third weekend you'd go to Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast, like either to the beach or to town or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
Did you work?
Yeah, I worked as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the buzziest job I've ever done. So that was
No, not the buzziest. But we'll talk about that soon. But definitely not the buzziest.
Yeah, no, that was buzzy as well. But yeah, so basically I was just growing plants for like supermarkets. So like growing lettuce and growing tomatoes and growing, that was basically what I was doing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was so weird, bro. It's too hard to explain. Basically you just grow seeds in like a big tray and then like put them on a conveyor belt kind of thing and then wrap them up and put them in a truck, and then that truck takes them off to the actual farm where they get planted.
Oh, what the heck?
Crazy, bro.
So like factory work, kind of.
Yeah, but it's all outside. It wasn't like a
Oh,
factory,
yeah.
but yeah.
Is it hot where you work?
Yeah, hot in summer, bro. Crazy hot, and then like almost where I was, like kind of too contrasting. Like when winter, like opposite, like real cold, you know, like
Oh yeah.
yeah, which sucked, but yeah, no,
Oh, weird.
it was good, like living, like making money off football and then making money off work as well. Like especially over there, like money's better in Aussie for most things, you know. So
Bro, is it what?
yeah, so
It's ridiculous.
yeah,
It makes you think. Like, it makes me think. What the fuck we like?
Doing
what's
wrong?
going on here?
yeah,
Honestly, like, and I noticed. I don't know if you noticed it too, but like, it seems like most people don't really have an issue with money. Like, money's not really spoken about as an issue. Like, you know, around amongst your friends and stuff. You know, like you come here, let's say, like being kind of broad, like you're like, oh, you know, someone's buying something or something, like, oh, I'll transfer you, or you know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it like just doesn't happen there. Like, it's almost like everyone's a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Everyone drives a nice car, a decent car, and like
Yeah, I don't know why that is. Like, I think
the economy's just doing better than us.
yeah, but yeah. I suppose it's that thing. Like, maybe that's why over here we just don't talk about money as much. Like, we don't have it.
Yeah, probably actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's probably the case at the moment too.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was thinking that when I went over there, and I got like a little part-time thing, and I did like 1 day a week, and I was just like, when they were giving me the money, I was like, what the hell? Like, how was that even? And just like hearing what the boys were getting, like one of the boys was getting like $40 an hour for like driving a forklift or something, and I was like, what the shit? Like,
Yeah, well, I walked over there and like I'd never done this job before, and they were like, "Yeah, $27.50 an hour." And I was like, "You sure? Like, I've never done this before."
that's crazy. While we're on the topics of buzzy jobs,
Oh, yeah, here we go.
let's talk about your buzziest job. That I don't know that anyone would be ready for this.
Yeah, so this is probably after the story. You probably want to cut the podcast because this is probably my best story by far.
Wait, just careful not to
Oh,
Can
on
you
the
hear
chair. Yeah. Oh shit!
that
Holy. Yeah, sorry.
sit dead still. There you go. All right, tell me. Let's go.
Okay, so what? You want to start from the start? Take it all the way back to
Oh,
where it
100%.
began?
Give us the whole
Okay.
thing.
Whole shebang. Okay. Oh man, I'm doing it again. Yeah. Okay, start from the start. Fuck, where do I start? Okay, so oh my god. Can I name drop John? Surely I can. John will be all good with it, eh?
I don't know. We'll just say, I don't know. What? It's your call, bro. It's not me.
You know John as well as I do.
Yeah,
Nah, okay,
but like, I don't know if like,
Nah, okay, he'll be all good, surely.
yeah, sweet, yeah.
Oh, well, I'll just say my boss at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we'll start from the start. So I am working in Tauranga at this moment in time. and my boss calls me and goes, "Oh, hey, can you come to the hospital with me or to the doctors?" And I was like, "Yeah, but buzzy request, but yeah, of course, like sweet as." So he's like, "Sweet." Came and picked me up from my job site, took me to the doctors, and basically sits me in front of this doctor and goes, "Hey, bro, I want this guy's shit up my ass?" And I'm like, sitting there like, what?
They didn't even ask you.
Nah, didn't even tell me the whole ride there. I'm like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "Oh, we're just going to the doctor's. Like, just need to talk to his doctor about some stuff." And I had no clue at all. So I'm sitting there like,
what?
Don't know what's going on, anticipating, don't know what I'm about to like hear. And he's just like, "Oh yeah, so like I want to do this," and I'm just like sitting there like, he's talking to the doctor, like not even asked me. I'm like, fuck me, bro.
What, bro?
Yeah, so crazy, bro. So, oh my god, yeah, it's crazy. And the doctor goes, "We actually don't do that in New Zealand. Like, it's not like I don't know if it's legal or just like if it's not like it, we just don't do it in New Zealand."
Yeah.
And in America, it's actually quite big.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So,
well, explain why. So obviously, it's not just like for fun. Like,
no,
explain
yeah, no,
why.
I'll get there. Yeah. So basically, so my boss has like irritable bowel disease, so IBD, and it's actually like a real more common than you'd think. Yeah, and he had really bad case of it. So he was shitting about 20 to 25 times a day, which is unreal when you think about it. Like how many hours in a day, like, and obviously, like, so that's 2 times an hour.
If you're
awake. For 12
oh
hours.
yeah,
12, yeah.
Oh yeah.
12 hours a day, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so which is like sucks. Like obviously I know this, and like I'm like straight away, yeah, I can do it for you. And then obviously the doctor says no, so he's like, shit, literally.
This is gonna be a good snippet.
Yeah. So anyway, he goes, "Oh, sweet as, like, doctor won't do it. Let's just do it anyway." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, all right. Like, if it's up to you. Like, obviously it's no skin off my back. I don't need the shit anymore. I'm usually flushing it down the toilet. If you want it, you can have it. Like, all good, you know." So I'm like, yeah. So basically, like, he's like, "Yeah, next week, just can you come around to mine and like shit for me?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, this is weird as fuck, but sure thing. Like, you know, I'll do this for you." So I'm shitting for this guy, my boss, and he's like, "Okay, I've got the other guy that's got this problem as well, and there's like a few strands of it. So one of them's like called Crohn's disease, and there's like other ones that are like quite bad." And he like, "So all right, I'll get this guy in as well, because he's like, you know, he's clutching at straws, doesn't really have any other options." I'm like, "Fuck, all right, like get this other guy in." So this other guy comes in, and it's actually his dad that comes in, and I meet him, and he's like, "Look, I want you to drop everything that you're doing, and I want you to catch this helicopter from Tauranga up to Auckland for me. Come and get your shit tested up in Auckland. You can stay at our house. We'll completely take care of you." So I'm like, fuck, all right, like, what the fuck's going on, basically? I'm like, sweet, like, so I drop my tools. I'm like, sweet as, like, he literally picks me up from my house. I grab a few clothes. He takes me to his helicopter. The helicopter, like, is his private, like, helicopter driver. Just, like, flies me up to Auckland. I'm staying, like, flies me into this house. Like, he's this rich ass dude. Like, fly into this mansion. He's like, oh my god, it's crazy, bro. He gives me my own house on this mansion to stay at. He like offers me the cars to his Ferrari to drive around. I'm like, no, like, I'm not driving
surely
that around. Bro, I wanted to, but like, if I crashed it, you know, like, fuck.
Yeah, yes.
So like, he's like, instead gives me the car keys to his Beamer. Like this, I'm talking like one of the wealthiest men in New Zealand, like, type shit.
Probably almost top 5 at least.
Definitely up there.
Top 5 at least,
Which is crazy. Like, it's got like this fucking like life-size giraffe in the backyard, like fake life-size giraffe. Yeah, so he flies me up there. I'm like, literally just the whole time, just like jaws dropped, eyes wide. Like, next day, like, go out, test my shit, like, comes back, it's all good. So then I stay in this house. It's got like fucking a ball pit, a gym, like, it's my own house. It's crazy. I play tennis with their like with their housekeeper. This guy like whips me in like 5 sets.
He probably plays a heaps. Does he live there or what?
Yeah, he lives there. Lives on site.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, I like rock up. I like go into their
On
main
site?
house on site, bro. Main site.
Lockdown teams. Just keep going. I guess.
That's your fault.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah. So this guy's like obviously lives on site. I like they've got a chef there. Like I go in, there's like an aquarium as their backdrop in their kitchen. Like it's fucking crazy.
What the hell,
Crazy money, bro. Anyway, so like get it all tested, all good. Then like a couple days later, they fly me back down to Tauranga, and then every day at 12 o'clock on the dot, I drive over to. They've got had like this penthouse place over at the Mount. Drive over to the penthouse, like go up the elevator. Every single day at 12 o'clock, without fail, there's a steak and egg there sitting on the bench for me. I eat the steak and egg, shit for them, then just go back to work.
Is that why? Like,
I think he was just doing it to like
or to make your shit better, or
I think so. Just he just made it the first day, and then just became like a routine after that. Just for like I don't know, just like it was good meat, a good meal, you know. So
what the heck?
the next day at 12, yeah, and like this guy's like crazy rich, bro. He's like. So it's like, yeah, every week I'll give you like 4K to fucking shit for him. So I'm like, bro. So like every week I'm just like, oh, fuck yeah. So he's like, yeah, let's do this for 2 weeks, and if it works, we'll carry on, and if it doesn't, like, we'll stop. So then it ends up like for this guy, it ends up not working and not working out. So I just did 2 weeks of work for him, just like shitting. So fucking, yeah, it's crazy, bro. But
8K in 2 weeks.
yeah,
That's for taking a shit, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone does that. That's
what I said, bro.
That is wild.
I don't need it, so if it's helping someone, why not do it, you know? One of the grossest things is that like he takes it out of the bucket and puts it in a NutriBullet and blends it all together in a NutriBullet.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. What the fuck?
Which is fucking disgusting. Oh my god.
Okay, enough on that talk.
Yeah.
I'm sick of that. Okay, you went to Aussie and then you came home. And did you go straight to Wanderers?
Yeah, nah. So it was played for a team in Auckland. Got them relegated actually.
Good shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, got them relegated, and then basically didn't want to play for them when they're in the lower league, and then that's when I went back to Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, so just been kind of ever since I've been back, just been living in Auckland, playing in Hamilton, traveling down 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, how do you find that?
Yeah,
It'd be hard, bro. Fuck. That's like what, hour each way at least.
At least
an hour each way, because you're going from the shore too, eh?
Yeah, going from the shore, and sometimes peak hour traffic.
Oh.
It's 2.5 to get down sometimes. And then you can make it maybe an hour 15, hour and a half back, pretty quickly back.
Yeah.
But to get down there and back is at we leave at 3 o'clock some days and get back at 11 at night. So it's an 8-hour shift, you know.
Yeah.
But you're thinking of doing that with rugby or what?
Potentially, but fuck, it's definitely a task, bro. Like it sounds like
it's a whole
it'd be further.
Yeah, exactly.
Be 3.
What time's training start for you boys?
6.
Oh yeah. So what, done by 8?
Yeah.
Back at home by 11. Like it's pretty.
Be a big commitment, that's for sure.
It is a massive commitment, bro.
Yeah, but it depends. Like if I'm to do that, I probably will stay there. So
oh yeah,
I'll go Thursday. Goes just for Thursdays. Stay there till Sunday morning. Drive home on Sunday for the game. And
that'd be right.
It would be all right, but yeah, again, it's just like it's not just me. I've got Ella. I've got Rome.
Yeah,
I can't just leave them up there. Well, I can, but like it just makes things tricky. But yeah, I don't know. It depends. But what have you notched up? Like, I'm sure I saw your name on the 100 board at the.
Yeah, so
club.
I think I played 50 National League games, which is like the summer league games, so like the higher level.
Yeah.
And then I think for Wanderers, like the actual club, I've like played over 100 now, so I'm getting up there. Fuck.
Club Ledge.
Club legend.
The club legend, bro.
Life member. Fuck, that just shows you how old I am, really.
Over 100 games. 'Cause how many? No, but to be fair, you play so many games in a year.
Yeah, well, we play summer league, summer straight into winter league, so it's like it's crazy. It's what you.
Well, how many games do you think you play in a year?
You'd probably say so. This year I think it was a 10 team league, so you play 9 games, play them both sides, so 18, and then in summer probably another 18. So what's that? 20, 30, 36 in a year. So 3 years maybe, plus a couple finals and all that kind of stuff.
30. Yeah, so I'd rather say 40 games a year.
Yeah,
Probably roughly
like that,
40 games a year.
Yeah,
That is heaps, bro.
oh, bro. Yeah, that's a lot, and you don't get much time off in between that. So you get a couple of weeks and then you're straight back into it.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like I've just noticed it's almost like you have a game every week. Like,
Yeah, basically.
yeah, that's wild. I never knew that because how you said that summer league is like the big comp.
Yeah,
So I never knew that you even played in summer, let alone that summer league is like,
this is the better one.
yeah,
Yeah, well, you get a lot of people going, "Oh, summer league, oh, it's just like 5-a-side or
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like." But summer league is the one that everyone's trying to make, and
Which is weird.
yeah.
When did it become that?
Yeah, because it's always been a winter sport.
Yeah,
Yeah, same with like rugby,
I
basically.
don't get it. Why has it become the summer league, or has it always,
I
as far as you know?
couldn't tell you the origins of it, but the league's just changed now. So like, you've got to make top 4 in the Auckland League to then go and play summer league. So
Yeah. But you've had a good year, eh? Like you notched up top goal scorer this year,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah, our team personally probably hasn't had the best of years. We probably won't make top 4, but me personally, I've got top goal scorer. So far, if the league carries on, top goal scorer for Wanderers, and yeah, we've been going all right, playing all right.
Yeah.
Right footy.
Bro, I never been into football at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Right.
But like actually
Way to be
interested. No, I'm being serious. Yeah, like anytime I saw football on the like TV, I was like, nah.
Yeah, next.
But like come in and watch someone that like if I actually knew like because I obviously actually knew you and I watched it, it was way more interesting, bro. And I actually like enjoyed it. Like
Yeah.
I was sitting there like, fuck, this is like actually interesting. And it might only be like 1 goal each at the end of it, but
Yeah.
like that was actually interesting to me. Like
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it.
Do you think that comes, obviously probably not the sport, but more you invested in the person playing maybe?
Maybe, but like by being invested in the person playing, I actually learnt the game more. Like I actually by flicking away, I never would have even learnt the game at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like the most I knew about football was when I used to jam FIFA 08 when I was a kid. And like the only thing I ever knew was offside because it would always happen in FIFA 08. But that's about it, bro. Like that's all I knew. So yeah, obviously playing is like your strong, what you've always been known for. But now, like more recently, you've sort of got into, you've run your own coaching business, which is still football, but so that started with One Stop. Is that right?
Yep. So yeah, basically, I think one of my good mates, Ruben Parker, he runs a goalkeeping business called One Stop Goalkeeping, and I think he was just like, look, there's probably a bit of a niche here for you to like jump in and like start coaching. And I was like, oh yeah, like obviously I'm not a goalkeeper, but I'm an outfielder. Start coaching like the outfielders and stuff, and so basically just said like got a few clients. Basically, that's how it started. Just got a few clients, like got in with the school, and then just really enjoyed what I was doing. Basically, really enjoyed this like teaching and like passing on the knowledge that I've learned and trying to like guide these young kids like I've obviously been, and show them the pathway like and how to get better and how to get better with yourself and with a team and all that kind of stuff. Like I really enjoyed it. It's super, super rewarding when you like kind of nurture this kid. Like I've had a few kids there for like a couple of years now, and you see them grow from this 14-year-old to a 16-year-old, and a lot happens in that time. Like
that's cool. That is cool.
The development in them as a player and as a human is drastic. Like, and to know that you've had some part of that, it's crazy. It's super, super cool.
How did you learn to teach? Because like, like I've always been interested in coaching, or like coaching kids. But like when you're actually in that like arena and it's like becomes like you actually have to coach them, it's completely different. And like
For sure.
you need to know what you're doing and you need to be organized.
Yeah.
How'd you learn that stuff?
I think to start with, I was super organized. Like, I'd write everything down and like, this is what we're doing for this minute, and like the whole way through, like plan it out. And I suppose I just kind of one of those things where you run before you can like crawl. You know, like just thrown into the deep end, and I'm quite like, especially like in a one-on-one situation, I'm like obviously quite decent with like a kid to like be able to like show them what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right, and you know, have a bit of banter here and there, and like kind of make the kid feel at ease as well as teach them a few new things. And I just planned it out from start to finish, and then from then on, like you can just kind of get more and more confident. And now, like I'll do a little bit of planning before each session, but like I could probably go to a session right now and just, you know, do a session off the back of what I already know, you know. And that just grows with confidence.
Because how long have you been doing it
now? Just over a year now, so like a year and a month.
Yeah. That's good. And like, if I think of two massive things that would come from what you just said, that's very important when it comes to coaching and stuff, would be communication, like communication skills.
For sure.
You need to be able to communicate well.
Yeah.
Especially with kids.
Yeah, and like, like there's a certain way to get your point across. You can't, like, especially with kids, you can't be like, no, that's wrong. They're going to not respond to it. They're just going to think they're getting told off, you know? You need to be like, oh, that was good, but can we try this? Or there's different ways to approach it. Like,
what about with different kids? Do you find that there's different ways to approach it with different kids?
Oh, 100%. Like, I've got kids that really short attention span, so I can't sit there and do one thing for the whole session because they're going to get bored. But there's other kids that are like so like focused on that certain thing that I can sit there and they want to get it right, and you can do that for the whole hour period, like because they just want to sit there and get it perfect. And you know, you've got to learn that pretty quickly, like which kid is which, and obviously there's thousands of different like attributes for kids, so you just got to learn that and pick that up as you go.
And people skills as well is probably quite big, because I think reality is like people aren't going to come back, kids aren't going to come back if they don't like you. And if they don't like let's be honest, like if you're paying for a service, I turn up to my first service as a kid and I'm like getting coached by someone and my dad's paying for me to get a lesson. I go home and I'm like, he was a dick, and like I didn't, you know. You can't relate to them.
You've got to for me, like I make the first one like kind of a broad spectrum, like kind of session, and like make it really enjoyable, and like obviously you're really upbeat, and obviously everyone has those off days, so it's not like I'm going to be perfect every time I'm coaching, but for sure, like most days that I'm at coaching, I'm there, I'm vibrant, I'm, you know, like throwing my arms about, and I'm raising my voice, and I'm like yelling at them in a good way, and you know, when they need to be yelled at, and like it just like they feed off your intensity. So like if you're intense, then they're intense, and that's how you get better as a player, I think.
Is like word of mouth and stuff quite big when it comes to like, you know, because obviously you get into schools and do boys talk to each other, and have you ever got clients through that?
Yeah, I think definitely with like, because I'm quite heavily involved in like one of the schools that I'm at, so like I'll be coaching the boys in the morning from 6 till 7 and 7 till 8, and the boys are turning up at 7:30 and watching the other kids do it, and they go, oh shit, he's doing extras, I should be doing extras if I want to, you know. And then like it kind of grows like that. And I think if they see like a good session being put on in the morning or in the afternoon or whatever time it is, then they go, oh, that looks fun, and it looks like I'm about to learn something, so why shouldn't I be doing it, you know? Yeah. I think that's really important, especially with the schools, because all the football boys are all in like their one like little posse, you know. So
sorry, we didn't even mention the fact that you started at One Stop and now you've moved to your own business, which is what we're talking about now, really, I guess, is Football Factory. So I suppose I worked with like One Stop for a while, and then we just kind of ended up parting ways, I suppose, like just a few different things within the business, that a few grey areas, and we just kind of like just decided it was probably better for our friendship to go separate ways, and don't regret it at all, because he's doing well now and I'm doing well now. So, you know, like I think that was probably the right step at the time to take, and now I've like, you know, learned to grow a business. And probably at the start of the year, maybe when we first did the interview and stuff, like not interview, the last podcast, like I was probably a little bit more like just like learning and finding my feet, you know. And now I've kind of not past that stage, obviously still learning every day, but you know, I've learned a lot in that past year. Where I can kind of like be a bit more confident to like
to do anything to like kind of tackle the kind of challenges that come with running a business, you know?
Yeah, what sort of challenges have you found so far? Because obviously, like, there's coaching and you're coaching kids, and that is probably, if you think about it in a day, that's probably 2 or 3 hours of your day is actually coaching the kids.
Yeah.
There's like more to it than just doing your service.
The actual work, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose for me, it's like at the start, I was obviously, there's a bit of a stigma around like maybe that tall poppy syndrome that you've probably talked about before, whereas like where I'm not wanting to kind of post as much, you know?
Yeah.
Feel like it's a bit maybe vain to post a lot, but kind of left that kind of feeling behind, and now I'm trying to post as many times as I can a week, you know, and I think it's a great tool to advertise your business. And obviously you're all about it. You're fucking all over it with, you know, multiple platforms and
just like social media is literally just the king right now. Like, if you're not like making use of it, then like you're really not been like, because the way I see it, and because I follow Gary V, and obviously Gary V is God, and he's he has the business Bible, and he says that like we live in a very social media driven world at the moment, but like, first of all, you can either hate it or you can embrace it, the fact that it happens, and like to a certain extent you have to have balance
for sure.
But he also said that like it's not going to last forever.
Yeah,
which is probably true. Like, you know, there's things that are going to change in the world, and like, you know, we're not going to be so social media driven like for the next 500 years.
Yeah, for sure.
We are living in that world right now.
Yeah, where it's so prominent. And it's just
is it what? Like,
always in front of our face, and
like, do you get the screen time thing?
Oh yeah, it's disgusting, bro.
Bro, that literally, it does. It makes me feel a bit sick that I'm like, should I spend that much time looking at my screen?
It's actually crazy. Like, obviously, some of it's warranted because,
work.
Like, you and me, like, probably working, and I probably kind of sweep a few of the hours into the work kind of thing. But when I look at it, probably half that time spent looking at my phone or scrolling through Instagram.
Well, how often do you like go to do work and then you see something and then you
all of a sudden
rabbit hole?
Yeah.
One video and then next minute,
all
2 hours later, you're like, fuck,
why am I looking at these caterpillars on TikTok or whatever the fuck you're doing?
Have you watched that like documentary sort of thing on Netflix? I can't remember what it's called. Social Dilemma.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, bro, watch that.
What's it about?
It's just just all these top guys in social media, and like they've worked within places like Google and Facebook, and they just preach about the fact that how social media is just like a big problem, but more so that it's designed to be addictive, which is and this, they say certain things and you're like, oh shit, that's actually true. Like, one example I can think of is like a notification, right? You get a notification and it comes up with like the first bit of the text, right? But it doesn't give you the whole text.
So
it could.
Well,
why don't they? Because they want you to swipe and they want you to check it, and then they want you to check something else, and they want you to, because like, and they do this big thing about how, Facebook and stuff, Facebook pixels. Do you know about Facebook pixels? So it's like this thing basically that it builds a profile on you, I guess, which is like every time you click on something or whatever, Facebook's building this little profile on you. And so you click on 10 videos of cats this week, watching cats, like Facebook's going to be like, he likes cats. That sort of thing. And it builds this little profile on you, and you have this thing called like a pixel. And when you have it on your website, you have this thing set up for your Facebook pixel, which basically captures people's pixels. So like when they come onto your website, it captures their pixel, and then it goes, okay, I need to find people like that match that person. So that's why Facebook ads are so powerful, because things come out that are aimed at you. Without you knowing it.
Well, sometimes you do know it, don't you?
Well, and that's the other thing. You wonder why you click on something, like you click on a Gucci bag or something like that, and then suddenly you're scrolling through Facebook and you see Gucci bags. You know, like it just you always hear that thing that like your phone's hearing what you say.
Yeah. Talk
that
about
sort of
KFC
shit.
and a KFC ad pops up. You're like, what the?
Yeah, it's not by coincidence. Is
No.
pretty much the thing they're saying, and that how wild it is, that like how crazy and how in deep we are now with it.
Do you use like ads a lot, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and stuff like that?
I don't use them at all, actually. I did for a bit. I had a guy running them. He did it for about a month, and personal reasons he had to stop doing it.
Yeah.
But I've never really got so like I look at marketing as like there's two sorts of types of marketing, I guess. What I think of as organic and paid. And organic is all the stuff you post in your feeds the stuff that's free, that you takes time but it's free.
Yeah.
And then you get the paid. And I think organic is like my strength. Like organic's probably our strength.
Yeah.
It is both our strength.
Yeah.
The paid side is something to be worked on. And but I guess when you're in early days of a business, bro, it's just almost like yes, that stuff can help elevate things quickly, I guess. But organic is like raw, and it's just like...
Yeah, and I think like people have that kind of outlook on not life, but when they watch something on Instagram, they want to see what you're doing behind the scenes. You know?
100%.
That stuff's like the interesting stuff. They don't want this like filtered kind of ad popping up. They want to see the real and the behind the scenes and the what happens when shit goes wrong. Like you've posted a lot of shit like that before.
Yeah, how do you take that into your... But have you sort of done a similar thing in terms of your journey and documenting it?
Yeah, I haven't done as much as like probably you have where I'm like documenting the journey and stuff. But like I will post like every now and then like something going wrong or like a funny clip, you know, because it shows that obviously we're not perfect. Like we've posted all of these passing and shot drills and everything going top bins, but it's hardly ever does it go top bins. You know, I'm only posting
that's right. Yeah,
the top 10%.
I remember that one you posted, and it was when you kicked it into the back of you or something.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, that was funny.
5 meters away, and I'm just like turned around, cold, like 5 degrees in the morning, and he just slammed the ball at the back of me. Oh,
what's the hardest part you've found about running a business?
I think like obviously trying to grow it is like even though it's quite broad is a massive like kind of thing for me, like because once I've got the clients, I suppose for me it's like most of them stay or they come back, you know, but it's trying to get those clients and trying to build it, like trying to grow the clients and the trust with like those right, because like I have a lot of people message me and like ask me how much is this and where do we do it and stuff, and they seem all keen, and then just getting them over that line kind of which maybe relates back to you where like people will probably click on your website, but trying to get them over the line to actually purchase something is a different issue, you know.
Well, you know the thing they actually say about that is like when you get people to your website, you're getting them into your funnel, right? Yeah. And the actual like success rate, conversion rate is like 1 to 3% for on average for an e-commerce business. So like of 100 people that go onto your website, one person will buy something. Yeah. And so, but like, how do you make that better? You get more people to your website. So if you get 10,000 people to your website, 100 people buy, it doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like that would be similar to you, I guess, where rather than getting 2 or 3 people, getting 1,000 people inquiring, 10 people will become clients.
Yeah, like,
have you thought about I guess hiring? Yeah, so like having coaches that essentially, I guess, like you're not doing more work, but it kind of broadens you. Like you can kind of have guys running. Yeah,
definitely. That's like
even in other area codes too, because like obviously you are in one spot, you can't go traveling around coaching.
And that's the thing with like obviously what I'm doing. It's quite restricting, I suppose you'd say, because I can only work in the hours that aren't school, and there's only so many of those hours in the day. So you know, and I can only there's only so much of me that can go around for that certain week. So, and I'm probably just at the stage now where I'm looking to expand and get a coach, maybe another coach in Auckland, and get one in Tauranga, and kind of expand that way. And then that way, it's a bit of a passive income as well as growing the business. Yeah, you know, like growing the thing as a whole, while having other people like there to like do those extra hours for me.
I think you're in a good position as well, because it's not like, obviously you playing football, it's not like you're going to find it hard to find good coaches. Like, so many people from playing football at a high level yourself and still playing football at a high level, that like you can call on these guys, and who wouldn't want to, like have an extra sort of side income
For sure.
to be coaching kids on the sport that they're playing because they love it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like obviously there's going to be a lot of good footballers out there, and that's quite easy to find, and then it's just finding the right kind of person that suits the model or suits my type of personality
That's
as
good.
well,
Yeah.
Or
100%.
even someone that's maybe not exactly like me. So I want someone that brings something different to the business, and then I can kind of use that as a strength. So like if they are good at one thing, then the clients that are not good at that, I pass to them, and the clients that are good at something else that come to me. So then kind of diversifies what my business is also offering,
Yeah, that's awesome. What about that that guy you got in to do those clips and that? When are you going to be posting those up?
Oh yeah, so one of my mates fucking
Give him a shout out too.
Yeah, Jono Viviani Creative on Instagram. This guy he just like messaged me out of the blue. He says, "Bro, I love what you're doing. Like, let me come and film a session for you, and I'll take heaps of photos and heaps of pictures and stuff." And I was like, "Fuck, bro, yeah, that's so sick." And he came down, created like this whole video for me, and took heaps of pictures, which I'll be like using for my business cards and stuff. So it was like stuff like that. Like, yeah, like being able to, like, eventually I want to be able to like hire someone like that and bring them on board.
Every top businessman or every top person that like I would follow talks about culture within a business, and like once you start hiring people, like that's when culture becomes important, because it's not just you anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
And the culture of the business essentially defines how well it runs.
Yeah. So I spoke to I've said Ruben Parker before, but he runs One Stop, and he's obviously got people in, and he said like he probably could have grown his business a little bit quicker if he didn't worry so much about that kind of thing. Like I think there's a fine line with like, you're not going to find that perfect person that has exactly the same everything like you, and I think if you can use that to your advantage and like kind of like as I said before, like take that and play to the strengths of them and play to the strengths of you, then it actually works out.
Yeah.
And I think like if you're in the spot to do it, then for me, like I'm about in that spot, so I might as well do it and just bite the bullet. And if it doesn't work out, like it doesn't work out. But if it does, then it grows my business by 2, and then I can get someone else, and all of a sudden I'm 3 times as big.
We'll jump into the Q&A because you got a few questions here. How hard was it transitioning into coaching, especially running your own gig?
I found it quite seamlessly easy, actually, just because I feel like the knowledge is already there. It's not like you're trying to pick up a whole new skill. You're almost teaching what you already know. The hard part is getting the clients, but once they're there, I think the coaching's quite easy. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
You're already around that environment, and then obviously the knowledge is already there. So it's just all you have to do is pass that knowledge on, and it becomes quite easy, really.
Nice. Who's your favourite friend since nappies?
Surely that's Ethan.
Yeah, correct.
This guy.
Does so much football get overwhelming?
Oh, I wouldn't say overwhelming, but there's definitely days where I maybe wake up at 6 o'clock and I go. Actually, there hasn't been days like that yet, but I can imagine them coming. But I still wake up at 6 and I go, you know what? I enjoy what I do.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's definitely not overwhelming, but there's certainly times where I'm like, shit, I'm doing the same session I did yesterday. Like, it becomes a little bit of like same old stuff, but I actually always enjoy the actual coaching side of it.
Yeah, that's cool. Fuck, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's when you know when you're in the right thing.
Right, exactly.
You're enjoying it.
Easy to grow something like that as well.
100%. Your dream place to live?
Oh, fuck, that's a good question as well. Bali. We'll go with Bali.
Oh, bro, how gun would Bali be for like?
Imagine living there.
Even like a 6-month stint, come home and then go back for 6 months.
Yeah.
Or
I think Bali would be sick. Imagine if all your family's over in Bali and just do whatever you want.
Literally, I haven't been to a whole lot of places, but like that is my favourite place.
Yeah, neither have I. But That's definitely up there.
Fuck me, the stories we could go on about Bali. What's the biggest challenge with coaching kids?
I think, and we touched on this before, is kind of because I know how to coach kids and like basically and kind of like the skill set and information to provide. That's the easy part. I think kind of learning on the fly and learning how each kid interacts or maybe how each kid learns is quite hard, like challenging at first. And even now, like if I get a new client, it's kind of like how are they best gonna learn from me, you know, and how am I gonna get my point across best to them, you know. And every single person is different, so you've got to tweak it a little bit, and that's probably the most challenging thing for me, but also rewarding when you see it come off.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice. I like that. Up and coming players in the region?
There's a lot. Quite a lot of youth, and I think with how the league is, how it is now, obviously we have to play 2 under-20 players every game, which is a new rule that they've just introduced. But
wow, true.
Yeah, just this last year. But it's class rules, so like forces kind of the young talent to come through, or maybe if they wouldn't get a chance, it gives them that chance to be in front of eyes. So I think there's a lot of young talent coming through, like especially in the Waikato region and also up in Auckland. Like anyone who's starting in that Northern Premier League at under 20 is going to be go far with it in the future.
Thoughts on players leaving larger clubs to gain first-team experience at smaller clubs?
That's a tough one. That I feel like if you're not learning much from the trainings at the bigger clubs, then fair enough, leave and go and get game time, because game time is where you probably learn the most and you get the most experience. But if you're at a big club and the trainings are intense and you're always a part of the trainings and you're learning from these bigger clubs which have better players naturally, then I think being around that environment is also beneficial as well. So it depends. It depends a lot on the team and how the trainings are, and then also the team that you're going to and how the games are going to be, because you can drop your standard and get game time, but do you want to drop your standard and get your game time is basically the question.
Yeah, true. Yeah, nice. Quite insightful there, mate.
Sorry, bro. I had a couple of beers.
Your best academy clubs setups developing the most players in New Zealand?
Best academy's got to be Football Factory NZ.
Plug.
There's a few. Like there's a good one down in Wellington. The Ole Academy has always produced like football players who play quite a good brand of football. But I think with the new rule that's just been introduced, every club is going to want to have a good youth system, or else they're not going to have these good young players coming through. So it's definitely progressing.
Do those 2 players have to get on?
They have to start.
They have to start.
You can start them and sub them a minute in if you want to, but they have to start.
Wow. Yeah. That's a big call.
It's crazy. So 2 of your players like have to start, and they have to be under their age.
Shit, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, it's massive.
Last question. Are you earning enough from your small business to get ahead in life?
I'm earning enough to live and to put some back into the business. I wouldn't say I'm getting ahead in life.
See, that's what I'm going to interject on this, because you can never start a small business and expect to get ahead in life early. You are in it for the long run.
For sure. It's almost like an investment. You're investing in yourself.
Exactly. And I think what people don't understand is when it comes to business and starting out, is they think that these guys that own their own businesses, even if they're starting out, they're owning their own businesses, so they're making all this money. It's not the case.
Yeah, it's almost the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. You probably make less than what people are earning going to work every week.
Yeah, 9 to 5.
But it's not about year 1, year 2, year 3. It's the opposite. Like, you're in it for the long run. You're investing your time. You're not getting a lot back at the start, and it's where's it going to put you in 10 years' time? And that's why it's hard to start a business, because you don't see return.
Yeah.
And
you don't see those short-term results.
So it's not quick. For some people, you're very blessed and you do get it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it happens like that, and something blows up overnight. But for the majority of people, it doesn't.
Yeah. And I think if you're a smart business owner, a lot of that money that you're earning goes back into the business anyway.
Exactly. You don't get to keep it.
Yeah. If you're spending it straight away, it's not going to grow the business, is it?
Nah. No, that's and that's a learning for everyone too. I think like you're starting to make a decent amount of money, then you can do whatever you want with it. But you're like, what should I do with it?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Anyway, bro, we better wrap it up there before the camera dies. Actually, awesome to have you on, bro. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, bro. Honestly, really appreciate it.
Good chats, and everyone obviously just tell people where they can find you.
So on Instagram, Football Factory NZ, and same on Facebook. Yeah, those are the only two socials I'm on. So yeah,
Gun, that's us. Awesome, brother. Thank you.
sweet.